Hey there everyone, welcome to a non-moniker discussion video. I'm not going to come to you today as Catholic Controversy, Pokemon, or Happy Gamer. Instead, I'm just going to come to you as me, just the guy behind it all. Because this is something where it's like, it's a discussion topic that doesn't directly impact just one of my characters. It's kind of all of it, and just sort of this entire internet thing that I'm doing right now. So, yeah. I'm going through burnout right now. I'm feeling kind of burnt out. I'm tired. There's a lot of things that are getting ahead of me, and I just kind of want to talk about it. First thing I just gotta say is that, no, I'm not quitting. I've done this way too long. This is too much of a part of my life for me to just quit. I enjoy doing it too much, and it is basically my therapy, is my outlet for just my thoughts and opinions and all that, and it's something where if I wasn't doing this, I would be annoying my friends and family in real life. And yeah, before I start doing the internet, that's basically what I would do. I'd just start rambling and ranting to my brother or my cousin or whatever, and a couple of times I just told me, dude, shut up, I don't care. And yeah, it's annoying, but, it's just part of who I am. I just gotta talk. I gotta get my thoughts out there, and that's why I do this. And it's something, and once I started doing internet stuff, that's doing this vlog thing, the Catholic Controversy YouTube channel, the Pokematic, every other platform under the sun available channels, and all that good stuff, is that, yeah, I don't need to ramble to my friends and family anymore, which is great. It's awesome having people here who actually want to hear what I have to say some of the time. But yeah, it's good. I love it. It's even if I just get 1 or 2 views, I'm happy. So yeah, and this is also not the first time that I've been burned out, and I've been burned out for far worse. Let me just go through the times that I've gone through burnouts. First time was like first 5 months or whatever when I opened up the Catholic Controversy channel. I basically talked about all the topics that I wanted to talk about, and then I just kind of ran out of things to talk about. So yeah, that's kind of about the time where I ended up making the Pokematic character, because I needed something. I had other things that I wanted to talk about that weren't the serious or controversial or religious or political things that Catholic Controversy would discuss. And so I made Pokematic, and I also wanted to do video game reviews. That was something that I really, really long time ago thought that that'd be awesome, which is why I also made Happy Gamer. And, the video game reviews I made so that was the first time I got burnt out, where I just sort of basically switched from making Catholic Controversy videos to making Pokematic videos. And I'd still drop a Catholic Controversy video here or there. And recently going through, what's kind of caused my burnout now, is I realized that this last year, 2018, it's like one of the most active Catholic Controversy video years that I've had in a long time. So yeah, first thing that came to burnout is just that I ran out of things to talk about. Ran out of ideas and discussion topics. So what I did is I just came up with something else to do. I came up with another character. I came up with another thing to talk about, and that's first lesson that I want everyone to take away from this if you're going through burnout. And hopefully I can touch on all the different kinds of burnouts that you'll experience, that you may experience that throughout your internet career, and that, hopefully I can help you figure out how to deal with that sort of burnout. And really, the big thing is that you gotta come up with ways to adapt. If you run out of things to talk about and such, there's always other things to do. You gotta do what makes you happy, and that's really what it was, that I enjoyed talking about things that kind of felt more serious about, that I really wanted to weigh in and give my opinion on. But there were also other just less serious things that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Pokemon and card captors and SpongeBob and Ed, and just wanted to rant about how bad that SpongeBob Truth or Square was and just talk about how great editing a big picture show was. So yeah, I made a new way of doing this, and that was the one kind of burnout where the way I adapted is that I started doing another character and started talking about other things. Another kind of burnout that I've experienced is that I was putting in way too much time into this online hobby. Because here's the thing for me. This is just an online hobby for me. This is not even like a hobby job. This is playing video games or watching TV or playing pickup basketball with your friends on the weekend. This is just a hobby for me. This is something that I do just for fun. And first time that really this happened was like after I started this back when I was a junior in high school. Somewhere between my junior and senior year of high school, or sophomore and junior year of high school, which was, during the summer I didn't have any real job or anything. I was a golf caddy, but that was 4 hours a day, like 4 or 5 days a week. It wasn't something that I did very, very frequently. It wasn't a super commitment. And I just had a whole bunch of free time on my hands. And the burnout that I experienced is that when school started and I had other responsibilities that I had to worry about. I had to worry about getting into college. I had to worry about my grades. I had to worry about the extracurriculars that I did. And, it just wasn't sustainable, which was an adjustment. And that's when I first went on hiatus, where I was just like, I got to take a break. I got to take a step back. I'll maybe make a video every so often, but then it's just like, I can't do this. My real life was interfering with my fun internet life, and that's another kind of burnout that you might experience. And that one, you just gotta take a step back, reevaluate what's going on in your life, and see if maybe there is a way that you could work it in. Because this hobby, job, whatever you end up making it, it can consume you. It can be everything. You hear about like some guys that do like YouTube full time, they'll say that they do like 80-hour work weeks, which is double what is a standard full-time job, which is crazy. And just to think about that, just doing that. And you also gotta consider that some people, we have day jobs. I have a day job. And back in school I had more than a day job, because school was like 12 hours a day, 13 hours a day. It was a long, long day. And then I was always busy on the weekends. So yeah, it's not something where you can just do it. There's a commitment to it, and you got to figure out what level of commitment you're willing to make to it. I know my one friend who's might be between jobs at the moment. She's sort of trying to make YouTube full time, which, I give you more power to you. It's something I don't think I'd ever be able to do. I couldn't deal with the grind. Yeah, it's a grind, and I've been doing this for years, and I found a way that's happy for me. I just want to get my ideas out there. I just want to talk to people. I just want to let you guys know what my thoughts are on different things, and I don't care about like being super big. So that's another kind of burnout that you might experience, where I've known guys where they were trying to do this their full-time job, and they just were getting 2 views of video. It's like they were posting every day on Google Plus about how, I'm putting dozens of hours into these videos, but no one's watching. What's the deal? Why can't I just make it big? It's just like, that's something that might happen. You might get burnt out for there, and that just goes back to the Catholic Controversy video where I say you got to be on this for fun. You can't just come on here and just want it to be your job. This isn't something that you can just make your job. You need to do it because you love it. You gotta enjoy making videos. You gotta enjoy the kind of content that you're making. Because otherwise you're gonna get discouraged, and that's another kind of burnout that you're gonna have, where it stops being fun. if it stops being fun, then you gotta reevaluate if this is something that you still want to keep doing, because maybe the money is good, but that's what destroyed stuff with Scoutfly, where he was making videos, but he did not enjoy doing it, and he was one of the top users in the cartoon community. He had the silver play button, over 100,000 subscribers, and he just like, I can't do this anymore. I hate myself for doing this. It's not fun. And he was putting in the 50, 60-hour work weeks, whatever, making videos, and he just hated it. So he quit, and I give him major props for that, because, you know, you can't do something that you hate. You gotta do something you love. And that's what I do right now. My real job, I love my real job, and I wouldn't trade making online videos for that. I don't know of any other job that I could really have that could be any better. So yeah, I do what I love, and that's what I do. So that's another cat burnout that you might experience. That's not necessarily something that I've ever experienced, because for me this has always been fun. But there are some projects where they stopped being fun. Like when I made some video game reviews, I did the Happy Gamer review of, I did Pokematic review of Donkey Konga, Happy Gamer review of Donkey Konga 2, Happy Gamer review of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I started making a review of, what was it? Strato the Hedgehog and Dance Dance Revolution, but I just never got around to it because making video game reviews just wasn't fun. I enjoyed playing the games, I enjoyed the B-roll, but I didn't enjoy writing the reviews, I didn't enjoy filming them, and I especially didn't enjoy editing them. So that's a project that I retired, and now I still keep Happy Gamer around, because sometimes there are games that I do want to review or at least do something with. Like, I really enjoyed making that Stardew Valley review, where it was just like, Stardew Valley is my addiction. That was really fun. So it's not something that I've completely given up on, but I basically admit that I'm never going to try to be like the Angry Video Game Nerd, Irate Gamer, Bull Rock Game Reviews, a Nintendo fan for the win, or anything like that. So yeah, that's a part of the project where it's just like, I realize that, that's not nearly as fun, so I'm just going to retire from doing that. But back to putting in too much effort and time. So for a while, if you watch the Pokematic videos, it was the summer, my second and third year or whatever, where I was basically just doing vlog videos where I was talking into the camera, giving my opinions and whatnot. But what I was doing is that I was changing the camera angle, changing where I was sitting every sentence or whatever. And I still kind of do that every now and then, just because. But the reason that I did that is because I had a film class, and I had a teacher that said, you got to change the camera angle every 5 seconds in a sitcom in order to keep the audience entertained. And yeah, that's true. And knowing internet attention spans, there were many times where I'd watch people where it's they weren't changing up the camera angle, so I just kind of got bored and stopped watching. I put it on sort of in the background, which is something that I still do. But yeah, it was, what I realized with that is that putting in the effort into that, which is something that I enjoy doing, it's fun to record. But the problem, though, is that it's crazy to edit, and it takes forever to edit. It takes me 10 times longer to actually make the video than the actual length of the video. It takes anywhere between 6 and 8 times longer. I've gotten pretty good at it because I've done it so many times that I figure out, okay, here's where I gotta stop, start, splice, split, and all the things that I need to do in order to put it all together. But, it still takes a while, which is something where it's okay, I didn't really see a whole lot of reason for doing it, and it was just a long time to make one video. So I'm just okay, I gotta slow down there. But the problem there is that it was okay, the Burnout was just the amount of time that I had that I could devote to it, because I realized that this was after I had the real life interfering with my internet life sort of thing, where I'm like, okay, I gotta regroup to see how much time I can actually invest into this hobby that I have. So I was like, okay, I just gotta take a step back, look at the time that it takes to invest in this, and maybe change some things up. And that's when I started blogging. I started writing text blogs. That's when I opened up the website, because I think it was the following year, I think that might have been my third year, where I took a class on HTML in high school. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to make my own website, see if I could get some free hosting, and discovered Blogspot. Well, what happened is that I started up a blog where I don't really remember all the reasons why I started up the blog, but I started up a blog, and I realized, okay, Blogger, I could edit the HTML and try to make web pages. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a website just in Blogger, ccpnhdvideos.com. And it's like, because at that time I realized, okay, I am posting to all sorts of different platforms. It's hard to really keep up with everywhere that I do. And why do I upload to multiple different platforms? That's a interesting story that also has a little bit of burnout to it too, where, you know, when I started out, I saw users like Big L2K6, Sukento, and Kalhan 3000, where their channels got DMCA takedowned, and that's something that happens to everyone, basically. I Ate Everything got his channel deleted. What's his name? Mr. Enter got his channel deleted. AVGN even got his channel deleted. People get their channels deleted, and it's like, okay, I gotta find a way to back up my content. It's like, the videos, they were taking up a lot of space relative to the size of my parents' computer. So I'm like, okay, I can't save all my videos, so I'm gonna upload them to another website. And this is back when it wasn't just uploading to YouTube. There were other platforms out there. Dailymotion was still pretty big. Metacafe was still pretty big. Break was still pretty big. VO was still pretty big. And a lot of users on YouTube, I saw that YouTube was pretty popular, but I also was like, okay, so that's why I joined YouTube. But I'm like, okay, I gotta save my videos, back them up somewhere else. So I upload them to Dailymotion, and then my videos ended up doing better on Dailymotion. So, well, it was like I was only uploading to YouTube and Dailymotion at the time with Catholic Controversy. But I don't want to get into all the details of like why I ended up also uploading to Metacafe, but it's like I wanted to make a channel that was specific for Pokematic, so I opened up an account on Metacafe, which was like the third most popular video hosting platform at the time. So I did that too, and I realized, okay, I'm uploading to all these different platforms. I need to find a place where I can keep them all together in case something happens to my channel, or for some reason the video won't play on one website, but it'll play on another. And that's happened a fair amount of times, actually, where I have some videos where it's like, okay, it won't work on Dailymotion, but it'll work on Metacafe. So it's uploaded only on Metacafe, and yeah. So, yeah, I made a website where I'm like, okay, I'm going to upload all the stuff, and back then it's like, okay, I had 3 years of content, but I wasn't uploading very consistently. I only had like 50, 60 videos, so it wasn't that hard to keep everything together. And I also realized, okay, it's much easier for me to like make text blogs. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna primarily do like text blogs to just for reviews where I just kind of want to get my thoughts out there, but I don't really need to like be expressive and like try to put on a show, which is how I transitioned from like Pokematic making videos all the time to making videos only some of the time. And you know, that worked out really, really well. That's what I did for many, many years. And that worked out really, really well for me. That's how I was fighting off the burnout there, which is one thing where it's like, okay, I was able to get my thoughts out to the people, and people were still able to find me. I was still able to talk, at least ramble to someone who was interested, but wasn't very time consuming. It'd take me like small fraction of the time in order to write the text blog than it would to actually film the video. So I did that for a real long time, and I continued to do that for many, many years, and that's how I was fighting off the burnout with that. And it was really great. And since I was doing primarily most of my work on my website, blogger website, if you could call it that, I'm like, okay, I was able to really keep it up to date and all that. Fast forward to college, Meta Cafes stopped allowing users to upload videos to them. So then I'm like, okay, I gotta find somewhere else to make a Pokemag channel. And then I discovered Bitlanders, which was awesome. Well, first I discovered Toon, but then I discovered Bitlanders. And what I liked about Bitlanders is that they actually paid you for uploading content. They paid you Bitcoin, which is how I got into Bitcoin, which is pretty neat. And that's when I discovered, like, hey, this is pretty good. I should try to actually focus more on this. And that's how I got into the whole uploading consistently and making videos consistently, and when I'm like trying to put stuff out on a near weekly basis. And yeah, I did that for a while, and it worked out pretty good for me. And that's why I started the Pokematic Drive to Work podcast, which ended up becoming just the Pokematic podcast, because I wasn't always driving to work. But what happened there is that, like, when I would drive, that's when I would normally just sort of like go over my thoughts and just sort of ramble to myself to try to get all my thoughts in order so that I can make them into a full video or blog. And I was just like, a lot of things don't necessarily change. I should probably just record this. So I pulled out and I was doing 40-minute drive to work every day because my internship was really far from where I lived with my parents. And like, okay, so I'm gonna record myself while driving, and that's gonna be my content. And I did that for a good amount of time, and that's basically where I am today. And I was basically recording every day. I had so many different thoughts, so many things that had been sort of sitting in the backlog that I needed to get out to everyone. It was really good. That felt really, really good. It felt nice to have that great creative release again. And what was awesome about it is that I was just sort of like doing this when I first started again. I felt like it was 2009 and I was in high school again, which was awesome. And I just needed to render the video and then upload, and that was that. And I was doing that, and that's how I thought that, okay, this is like where I'm going to be sustainable with content for a good long while. And it was. So basically it was like, okay, the vlog videos that I would record are only for when I need to be really expressive and whatnot. Text blogs are for when I need to like really get my thoughts straight and need to be able to easily edit. And then the Pokematic podcast would be just for when I would ramble and whatnot. And yeah, it worked out pretty well for me. And the only problem that I kind of ran into is that I had to make a page specifically on my website because I was making so much content. I'm like, okay, I can't honestly expect myself to create a new page and embed every single one of my videos that I make. That's the podcast. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make a page for my podcast, and I'm going to update that page. Though the other thing that happened is that this is when I started like making shows. Like Pokematic started making shows. First thing was that I discovered that The Last Man on Earth was just an absolutely amazingly written series. I'm like, okay, I gotta review every single episode of this and just talk about like just the shot composition and the writing and how characters interacted with each other and the acting, and that worked out. And for some reason I decided to make it a Toon PK exclusive, so yeah. And also what happened is that I found this website called Simply PTP, which was like, okay, people go to your webpage and view it for 15 seconds, you get some points that after you get 1 million of them, you get money. I'm like, sure, why not? If I can embed my videos and maybe get better than just like Google ads or something, then, I'll do that. And I didn't get a whole lot of views with either of them, but, it's out there. Same thing. I also discovered that I really liked the School of Rock on Nickelodeon. I found it to be just a very curious kind of show where it wasn't like with The Last Man on Earth where everything was amazing, but what I enjoyed doing was I enjoyed dissecting what worked and what didn't. Because there were a lot of things in School of Rock that worked, but then there were also a lot of things that didn't work. So I'm like, okay, I gotta see what's going on there. So I started doing the School of Rock logs, which also uploaded to Toon because for some reason I wanted to make them exclusive. I don't really know why I was doing that. I wanted to give some reason to go to Toon, but then no one watched me on Toon, so that's the crazy thing about I upload to Toon and it's like I didn't get any views whatsoever. Absolute zero, which is crazy. Because even when I'd upload Daily Motion and Mega Cafe, I'd get 10, which is why I needed to be happy. So yeah, I'm getting a little ahead of myself with there, but I also did the Mick logs and Real Blogger versus Alex Inc., which being the kind of a mix between Catholic Controversy, going over all the lessons that I learned, and then Pokematic talking about how this is nothing like Internet. I'm like, okay, this is going to be basically a dual posted series that's co-written by and produced by Catholic Controversy, but it's acted and such by Pokematic, so that ended up going on both. I actually ended up going on both DTube and YouTube, but again, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Here's the big thing that happened is VidMe. Oh man, VidMe. VidMe was such a pivotal role in making online content. Well, another thing that happened is that Bitlanders changed the rules and they stopped paying users for content, and funny thing is I actually ended up making a rule where they said you can't submit podcast videos because it's basically just audio with a still image, and they didn't like that. So yeah, I ended up making a rule because I threw a big stink and ended up getting the attention of everyone, and yeah, it was kind of it was a whole ordeal. So that's when I stopped making the podcast exclusively for Bitlanders and started uploading them to Toon and Daily Motion, and then I started uploading them to VidMe, and VidMe was awesome. I loved being on VidMe. I had friends on VidMe. I was getting a bunch of good views on VidMe. I was just part of the VidMe community. I made a couple of videos that were exclusive to VidMe, and it was just awesome. And the sad thing about VidMe is that then VidMe shut down, and it's okay, I saved all my videos, I archived them. After I started doing basically once I started making happy Pokematic videos, I started archiving all my stuff so then I could re-upload it later. Funny thing is that years ago I had dreams of remastering everything and making a DVD, and at some point I really probably should remaster some of my old stuff because the audio is horrible. And I just got to boost the audio. It's really just that. But, whatever. That could also be a bit of burnout right there. So, one thing that happened with VidMe is that they shut down. And I know a lot of people where they lost all their videos because they didn't back them up. They didn't also upload their stuff to BitChute, Dailymotion, YouTube, or any of those other platforms. And that's another thing that could happen with Burnout, is that your platform shuts down and you lose all your stuff, and that's discouraging. Most I can say there is that hopefully you back it up and that you're able to upload it. So again, just remember, everyone, back up your online content. And I know Surfer Selfies, that gave him some serious burnout, and the Old Sparrow, he said that after VidMe shut down and he didn't have any content there, that gave him burnout and it stopped being fun for him and he retired. And I don't blame him for that. I'm not throwing you guys any shade, but it's just sort of, that's another thing that happens with burnout, and another way that you could burn out, and it's that you lose your platform. And that happens sometimes, which is crazy because it's like, I can't remember where I saw it, but someone said that the shelf life of internet content is about 5 years. So if you like something, you got to back it up. And looking back at all that I've been through and all that I've seen, yeah, internet content shelf life is about 5 years. So you got to keep going at it, especially if it's like a news story. I mean, that stuff's going to be gone. And we're already seeing it with like Machinima, where recently Machinima basically was bought out by someone else, and they shut down the YouTube channel, deleted all the videos, or privatized all the videos. So yeah, that's crazy, which, you know, that could also be a contributing factor of burnout, where it's like, oh man, I made all this stuff, but then my partnered site, the guys that I work for, they quit. So I'm like, oh, now what? So yeah, that's another thing that could happen with burnout. That's something that I've not experienced, but, you know, I can't really offer advice with that, but it could happen. So be careful with that, and maybe try to persevere. If you enjoy doing things, try to branch out. I know that happened with basically Bill Whittle, where PJ Media shut down. So Scott and Steve Green took their shows off PJ TV and basically recreated them on Bill Whittle channel, which, good for them. So yeah, that's another form of burnout that you could get, which is unfortunate, but, you know, it does happen. So what's the burnout that I'm currently going through right now? Well, one thing that I realized is that, like, yesterday I felt really, really antsy for some reason. Like, I gotta do something with my internet content. So I'm like, okay, I've got to update my website. There's a lot of videos that I made, basically all the Catholic controversy videos for the past year I didn't post on my website. So I'm like, okay, I gotta fix that, but only some of them did, and now I'm going back looking forward, and it's just like, wow, there's stuff that I have not posted to my website that's like 3 years old, 4 years old. It's just like, oh man, my website's so outdated, and I've been telling people to go to my website for all my stuff, find it in a convenient location. It's like, I've been lying all these years unknowingly, but it's crazy. So yeah, I've got to go through that. And the other thing that I realized is that when I made my Wild Lights video blog this year, I linked to my original Wild Lights blog, and I embed stuff from Toon, because Toon was like my preferred embed player, because, hey, no one was watching on Toon anyway, so who cared if I was flooding that page. So, but then I looked at it, it's like so many of the links were dead, so it's like now I've got a bunch of dead links in my blogs and stuff because Toon decided to delist them or whatever. And I know, like, with basically a whole bunch of related videos, from basically all the related videos from 2017, if you go through the links and whatnot where I say, hey, check out my related video, it's going to, most of the time it's going to link to a VidMe video, and it's going to use a VidMe link, and that link's going to be dead. And I know I can't go through that because that's like years and years of stuff that I don't want to update, and it's all mostly available if you really want to search it out, which is kind of weird. So yeah, it's like what I'm currently going through now is that a project that I just sort of a pet project that I really kind of do only for myself. I don't get a ton of clicks on my website. I do it primarily just because I want to say, hey, I'm putting my HTML skills to use. And it's something that I've neglected, and it's crazy. And there's other projects that I've neglected. I've completely neglected the Search for Lost Media. I did a Search for Lost Media behind the scenes, and I think I made like 3 more videos out of their series, 27 videos. And I love Lost Media. I love talking about Lost Media, but I just sort of got burnt out on that. It stopped being fun. That project, at least. So it's crazy. Yeah. Burnout, it sucks. So how do you get through it? Really, what I'm doing right now is I'm stepping back. The podcast, the Peanut Bar podcast that I do, which is something that I started with my friend Bioshock Infinite WD, we talk with our mutual friend on a group chat. I'm just like, hey man, want to come on my podcast sometime? And he's like, sure. And it was meant to just be like a one-off guest spot that maybe he'd come back. But it's like, it's so much fun doing this thing. Let's make this a full-time podcast where we just get on and talk for 2 hours. And yeah, it's really fun. I love doing it. Thing though is that takes crazy long to upload because the video files end up being so large because it's so long. And yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm trying to upload that and remember all the tags and things that we talked about to mention. And the other thing that happens is that it's like, okay, I'm uploading stuff to these platforms that nobody knows, and a lot of people don't want to follow them. And I have people that I've done like guest spots on like Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, and people are like, hey, where can I follow you? I'm like, you can follow me on Dailymotion. No, I mean like a normal social media, so I'm like, I don't really use that, but I started a Twitter just so I could enter contests and whatnot, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this to post all of my stuff so people can keep up to date if they don't want to join the alternative video platforms I use, because honestly, I do hate YouTube. YouTube's a horrible platform, basically. I don't hear really anything good come out of it except for people saying, well, they pay me and they're stable. But yeah, I like spreading my word around, and I enjoy being just sort of the weird guy that uploads to alternative alt-tech platforms and whatnot. It's like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have met probably my best internet friend, Sky, right? I know you're listening to this right now. Shout out to you. You're awesome. And I wouldn't have met my friend Stunios, who I also met through VidMe, and I wouldn't have met Axel Afriku, which is an interesting guy, and I wouldn't have made the most ambitious project that I ever did, which was my VidMe Creators, Where Are They Now 1 year later project. That's like, I can say that I've made like an internet documentary now that I collaborated with, 9-10 people, and found a way to string together all these different stories and different styles to have it make sense. Everyone that I've talked to and showed it to, they're really, really impressed by it. Like, dude, that's awesome. I love what you did with that. So it's like, I wouldn't have done that if I didn't do the weird thing where I just upload to not YouTube sites. So yeah, I'm not quitting any of those sites either. I have basically stopped using Tune, though, because no one uses Tune. But whatever. Weird thing about it is that it's like, okay, I make so like right now the burnout that I'm dealing with is that I have a bunch of dead links and orphaned videos. So it's like, that's what I gotta do right now. I gotta go back, regroup, and just go through like the last 6 years of stuff that I did. Or like 5 years, I don't know. I was very active and very up to date on my website, and I also got to go through my website and go through my descriptions and whatnot to like update those, because it's like I started updating my website and whatnot, and then I realized, wow, these descriptions of who these characters are out of date. I got to fix those as well. So it's just crazy. And I'm getting through this. I know I'm getting through this. I'm already starting to feel a bit of a rebound. So, burnout. If you love doing internet stuff, you'll pull through. That's all I gotta say. You might need to make some adjustments in either real life or internet life, or how you make content or how you want to approach it, but you'll pull through. But here's the thing. At some point, I just gotta end you guys with this. Just, if you're going to do internet content, you got to realize that at some point you're going to experience some burnout. You might not straight up quit or want to quit, but there are times where you're just going to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I keep putting myself through this? It's going to end up being a little bit more work than you set out for it to be, and it's going to cause you a little bit of trouble. That's inevitable. It's something that will happen at some point. If you start up this creative endeavor and you plan to like sort of follow it ad infinitum or whatever the term is, at some point something in your life is going to change and you're going to realize, oh, this is a lot I'm not getting out of this way I originally got out of it. So, I've been through it. Pat's been through it. Mr. Enter's been through it. Every internet user's been through it. Big Al's been through it. Neo GameSpark's been through it. Everyone has been through it. I could just keep listing off names, and it happens. It's not a matter. You gotta look at the problem's not that you experience burnout. It's gonna happen to you. What's gonna really be telling is if you pull through the burnout, and if you make the right adjustments in order to not experience that same kind of burnout again, or at least for the same exact reasons as before. Well, this has been therapeutic. Thanks for listening if you've listened all the way through. I don't know, this has been me signing out, and I don't know, I'll catch you guys later. Bye. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to do an end card for this. I do end cards for all these things, which is end card fun thing that I do, and really makes my audio recorder nice because it gives me even numbers, because I record the main audio and then I'll record the end card. So yeah, hopefully you stuck through this and you enjoyed this, and if you're listening to this at the end, more power to you. Thank you for listening to my rambling. You are the reason why I do this and why I stick to this. If just someone who wants to just sit here and listen to my stuff. All right. So yeah, this felt very good to get off my chest. Hopefully someone out there, you'll be able to hear my story and figure out what's going on and try to help parse through what you're going through right now. Because, again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. At some point, if you do this online thing, at some point you're going to feel some burnout, and it's not a problem. You can pull through this. Or you might end up deciding that, this isn't my thing anymore. I'm going to stop. So, whatever. Everyone's life is different. All of our journeys are different. And what we need out of life, what we want out of life, and how we go about doing what we want to do, it's different. So, yeah. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and it feels good to be doing this. And what I know that I gotta do now is I need to go through my stuff. What I gotta do is I gotta re-upload all the Last Man on Earth logs, all the School of Rock logs, and all the Mick logs onto BitChute and DTube or Dailymotion or Metacafe or whatever platforms will have them. And I gotta use those to update my website, and I gotta go through my website and update all the links and put the orphan videos, put the orphan pages, and do some things like that. I mean, I'm not gonna overhaul it and whatnot. No, I'm just one guy. I like saying that I have a website. So yeah, it's what I want to get out of this hobby that I have. So yeah, I guess now is normally when I would say check out all the links that I have below for social medias and whatnot. But if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you already know all that stuff already, and I mean, this is not necessarily within the canon of one of my series. I might put this in the canon of Catholic Controversy just because it's the how do you deal with things, but it's all the stories are Pokematic, so that's the main reason why I decided to make this non-monikered video, because it's all the things. I didn't want to come to you as one of my distilled aspects of my personality that's concentrated for the topic at hand. No, I just want to give you me. Be real for, what is this, an hour now? Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just I've been doing this close to 10 years now. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary. As Scott Wright had said, it's the thing. I'm an internet OG, if you will. Yeah, it's crazy, but anyway, thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this, if this helps you out at all, consider giving it a like. But whatever, I'm doing this just for the therapy of it. So Well, if you want to keep up with my stuff, see what I do have a Twitter page, and hopefully I have the website all up to date, so I think maybe I gotta try to figure out how I can make the podcast more prominent, at least for linking back, because that's now a subsection. I gotta link my shows. Maybe there's some shows that I gotta finish. I gotta finish up the Mick and School of Rock. That's something that I know that once I finish those shows and finish the series of the Mick logs and the School of Rock logs, then that's gonna be one thing that I'm not gonna worry about anymore. And maybe I want to get back to doing the search for lost media, because it's fun doing the search for lost media, but it's whatever. It's kind of weird, because it's I've made these series that I kind of stopped doing. It's just weird. It's so surreal. It's I look back at all the things that I've gone through and all the stuff that I've done. It's weird thing is that my friend Stunios, I see him going through a lot of the same things that I do. So it's when he makes videos about the subject, I tell him, hey man, I know what you're going through. So yeah, this is thanks for listening. It's crazy. So yeah, I think I'll get going now. Okay, well, you'll catch one of my characters in the future. It's probably either going to be either Catholic Controversy or Pokemac, because, I don't do a whole lot of Happy Gamer anymore, but, he's still a character that I stick around. He's not fully retired, not fully canceled or ended or series finished. No, Happy Gamer's still around. I still do Happy Gamer Takes Over the podcast every now and then, so yeah, it's just weird. So yeah, Burnout, everyone. I'll just leave you on this. You can make it through. Burnout is not the end of the world. It just is a sign that you need to reevaluate what you're doing and adapt and figure it out, or just be done. Yeah, it's difficult, but you can make it through it. I've made it through it how many times? 4 times? This is now my 5th or whatever, so you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Alright, well, hopefully I helped you guys out. Catch you later.